I want to tell you a story about this guy. I call him the Ferrari Guy because he owns a Ferrari. So before I moved here, I used to live in a different mid-rise building. It's in fact, like, you can probably even like see it from here. So it's like right over there or something. So before I moved here, I used to live over there, and there was a guy who owned a Ferrari. So I forgot his name, so I just call him the Ferrari Guy. And what happened is this guy, he owns a sales company. And so since he owned a sales company, a friend of mine moved to Vegas, and my friend was trying to hire salespeople. And so I thought to myself, okay, Ferrari Guy owns a sales company. My friend is trying to hire salespeople, but my friend is having a hard time hiring salespeople out here in Vegas, just like good salespeople. So I say, you know what? Next time I see the Ferrari Guy, I'm going to ask him, well, how do you hire really good salespeople, right? So I can help out my friend in his business. So I'm at the gym inside the mid-rise, and I see him there, and I was like, hey, I don't know his name, so I was like, hey, you say you got a sales company, right? He's like, yeah. So I was wondering, like, how do you hire really good salespeople? And he's like, why? And so I was telling him, I was like, well, because my friend, he just moved out here. My friend's got this business, and he's having a really hard time just trying to hire salespeople out here, and he cuts me off, right? Ferrari Guy cuts me off. He's like, who gives up about your friend? I was like, what? He just cuts me off. He's like, who gives up about your friend? Who cares what your friend is doing? Your friend, I don't care. Your friend, if he goes out of business, who gives up about your friend? He's like, stop focusing on your friend's business. Start focusing on yours. He's like, who cares about your friend's business? And I just thought to myself, I was like, wow, he's right. See, a lot of people sit there and they basically talk about someone else's business, whether it's, I don't know, whatever it is. They basically focus on someone else's business, whether it's something small like what I was trying to do. I was trying to help out my friend, right? But the guy, he was right. He was like, basically, the more time you spend thinking about someone else's business, that's less time you spend thinking about yours. And so it doesn't really matter if it's your friend, if it's some random person you don't know. People are talking about like, oh, you have bad punctuation in your emails, and oh, the grammar's not correct. Oh, you don't speak right in your videos. The more time you spend talking about and thinking about someone else's business, that's less time you spend talking about and thinking about your business. You want to focus on what you're doing. Who cares about what other people are doing? You should literally have blinders on towards what other people are doing. The only time it ever matters is if you're trying to get ideas from their business to implement into your business. But in terms of like what I was doing when I approached the Ferrari Guy, and I said like, hey man, my friend, he's having a hard time with salespeople. The Ferrari Guy, I mean, he just reminded me, he's like, who cares about what your friend's business is doing? Like, who cares? How does that relate in any way to your business? And so you got to operate with that mindset of, hey, it doesn't really matter what someone else is doing in their business. It doesn't really matter if you think it's right, wrong. It simply does not matter. Focus on what you're doing in your business. Focus on what you're accomplishing in your business. And who cares about what other people are doing in their business? Who cares about all the other people? Focus on your own stuff.